One, two, ready, go. Joshua
Peace.
Israel back in the house with Eric, mad scientist. What it do, Doc?
Peace, peace, peace. What's up, Elder?
Man, just chilling, man. I thought I'd give you a call, man. I just want to have some just deep dialogue, man. Just some deep discussions. And there's not many people out here that I could have this type of dialogue with. Now, I'm not sure whether I could even get you there. You know what I'm saying? Because we haven't gotten to the level where I'm trying to go, you know. But yeah, man, I want to talk about something. And again, you as an honor, are one of the very few, if only, people that I can have this level of discussion with. And I like to talk about today is spirits quantifiable? Is spirits quantifiable? You know, can we measure them? You know what I'm saying? Let's just look up this word quantify so I can clearly define it. Quantify means to express or measure the quantity of. To express or measure the quantity of. I forgot how to share this stuff here.
Push presentation. Present.
Share screen. Okay. There
I
we
can
go.
pull up. I can put up if you want to. You just gotta share it.
Yeah, I got it. It's up.
All right.
Can you see it?
Yeah, it's pulling up now. There you go.
See, quantify.
Yeah.
Quantify means to express the quantity of, right?
Hmm.
Or to measure the quantity of. And I'm asking, can we express the quantity of spirits? Can we measure the quantity of spirits?
All right. So I'll read the definition again.
Uh, the definition is to express or measure the quantity of, meaning that to quantify something means to express the quantity of something, you know, or to measure the quantity, the amount, you know, of something, you know, to measure the amount of something, you know, to express the amount of something, you know, something that is tangible, right? Is something that is quantifiable. You understand what I'm saying? Like, say, for instance, I got this lighter in my hand. I could quantify this lighter. I could say this thing here is plastic. It's filled with some type of fluid. It has this lever on it. It has this flicker. This is one lighter. I can take it and grab another one and say that it's two lighters. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Apply the same expression. You understand what I'm saying? You get another one that's three lighters, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying that when I look at words like spirit, right? And I look in the Bible and I read about spirits and I want to know, wow, this thing about spirits is interesting. Let me look into this. So when I look in your English dictionaries and I look up the word spirit, right? And we can just go ahead and look at it. Let's try it. Let me go back here. How do I let go that
Just say stop. Just go to the square and
stop
stop
screen?
there. Yeah.
Okay. So let's look up spirit, right? I noticed that when I look up these words like spirit and stuff like that, when I look these words up in English, I get one definition, one understanding. Then when I look up uh, and do research on spirit in Hebrew, I get a totally different understanding.
Yeah, and while he
Right?
looking at well, while you looking that up, I want to say what I got from information on that. Like we said before, spirit in the Hebrew is a different form because of the culture and the mindset they really had, and then you had the people that came who didn't have the same mindset, and
Right.
they took this word and they transformed it into another thing, and then they do many things like that. That's why I showed Thoth. The original Thoth was an enemy at first, was an evil god. Then it became the god of writing and other stuff.
Yeah.
Then his name became from one name to another name, Thoth, to a Greek name, Perses. I think that's what they try to say he was. So the Greeks took a lot of stuff from Kemet, Samaria, all these different places, and they just changed it to fit their narrative because they was more mythical people. They was more like they was the most mythical people that I know of from me studying.
You know what that's called? All of that made simple can be made can be quantified into one word called uh interpolation.
Yeah,
They used basically pagan interpolations and pagan European Nordic interpolations over and into an ancient Afro-Asiatic concept.
yeah,
What word we got there? Spirit. Now let's look up this word spirit in English. It says the non-physical part of a person, which is the seat of emotions and character, the soul, right?
yeah,
Now, here is saying that spirit and soul is the same thing, right? It's the non physical part of a person, which is the seat of emotions and character. That's what the definition of spirit is, the non physical, right? The non tangible. You can't quantify this. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
This cannot be quantified. It can't be measured. The non-physical part of a person cannot be measured. A person's emotions, the seat of his emotions, not his emotions, but the seat of his emotions cannot be quantified. You understand? But when we look up spirit in Hebrew, we're going to get something totally different, which tells me that the Hebrews understood spirit understanding of spirit is something different, right? From what
yeah.
the Europeans. Well, let's look up what is the Hebrew word for spirit.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy, Terry.
What?
I look up the word Greek. So the Greeks actually took from the what
Share
the
it.
original
Pull it up.
they not all right. Hold on. Let me share. Yeah, because we can have both our screens up. You can just pull them down anytime you want to.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sharing now. All right. You see what it say right here? It says the Greek word for spirit is pneuma. For pneuma,
Air.
which has a similar meaning to the word roach. For pneuma means breath, blow, primarily denotes the wind. So the Greeks, though, see, because this is what I have a problem with. I try to tell people, it wasn't one set of Greeks because you have the Koine Greeks, right? And the people that spoke the Koine Greek, from my research and what I learned is they couldn't. The modern Greek couldn't really decipher the Koine Greek. So to me, I believe that they were not the
Koine Greek
same.
was kind of like slang, like it was like
Yeah,
idiomatic,
yeah.
It was
So
real
when you
colloquial.
yeah, so when you go into the, it's just like Kemet. When you go into the original Kemet, when they talk about these deities, most of the time it was about talking about in a mythical way, meaning like it's the sun. The sun is the rod. But then when you get to the middle and you get to the modern Kemet, they start getting to where they start worshiping these beings, right?
Yeah.
So when you go to the Greek actually was falling the right way when they were doing birth, but then later on it started turning again. It started
And
turning into modern times. It started turning into a spirit.
you can
Because
see it
if you go to this right here,
in the
let me show you.
definition.
Yeah, let me show you this one. Damn.
You got another one?
Yeah, because when I
Go
looked
back
it up,
go back to that one real quick before you go to
all
that one. We don't want to be jumping back to this. Once we get out of
right,
that, we can just leave that. I want to speak on that real quick. I want you to see what I see here. Okay, when you look at this definition, right?
mm-hmm.
Where did definition go?
Right here.
No, it was bigger. There you go. The full definition. It says the Greek word for spirit is pneuma, like as an air, right? Meaning
Yeah,
to, okay, which has a similar meaning to the Hebrew word ruach. What I was going to do was punch up what's the Hebrew word for spirit, which really we don't have to do that because here it is right here. It's ruach,
yeah,
okay? And they're saying that the original Greek pneuma was very similar to the
yeah,
Hebrew ruach, which
yeah,
means to breathe, right?
mm-hmm.
To blow, same thing, right?
Yeah,
It primarily denotes the wind, the air, right?
mm-hmm.
To breathe. The spirit, which like the wind is invisible, now it's starting to get off into the spook, right?
Yeah,
Immaterial and powerful, right?
mm-hmm.
And from that understanding, people begin to focus more off into the immaterial, right? And that's when it became unquantifiable. But believe it or not, it lasted with this understanding in the Greek and the Latin, right? It didn't get spooky like this until the Anglo-Saxon domination,
Yeah.
until after the fourth century, when Bishop Waffles and the Anglos and the English began to put their spin on it.
See what I'm?
People don't understand the power of English and the influence of the English in the last 400 years.
And you see this right here. What Greek is this? Is this modern Greek?
I don't know. I just know it's Greek.
Okay,
I
'cause
can't. I
I
can't.
don't think this Koine Greek right here, right?
Yeah, I can't. I
So
don't know because I don't. I'm not. I
so
have no idea.
so when
I
you read
can't
this,
read. No, I
so you
can't read that or
so when you
nothing.
read this right here in the Greek is spirit, right? It
Yeah.
says spirit with ghost, e spirit, humor, 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 humor. I don't know that, but it's saying there's a
Humor,
ghost.
same thing. Both
Yeah.
of them
So
humor.
see how you say it said ghost in this one. So that's what I'm saying. I think in any like most of cultures, once it started getting more modern,
Yeah.
that's why I
One.
say a lot of people start either taking stuff literal, either they start taking real stuff literal or
See,
they
the
start.
thing that happens with the translation, it gets watered down and watered down. It's like say for instance, if I had a glass of water, right,
Yeah.
and I had, let's say I had 1,000 glasses of water, 1,000 empty glasses, and I take this one glass of the water that was in the original glass, right, and
Hmm.
then I pour it all into the next glass, right. It's going to be it's going to be a little bit less water, right, in that glass. And then I take the second glass and pour it to the third water to the third glass. By the time I get 500 glasses down, the water is going to be significantly less.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's what happens in translation. You know what I'm saying? A translation gets diluted the more it gets translated into other languages, especially without reference to the original first language, you see,
Yeah.
then it takes on the spirit of the last people, that took on that, and a continuation of that without careful circumspection, you'll end up eventually into a whole nother faith, religion, school of thought, etc.
Yeah. Now y'all see right here, I got demon right in Greek. Now now it says the original ancient Greek word daemon did not carry negative connotations. It is denotes a spirit or divine power. The Greek conception of daemon notably appears in the philo- phil- ph- philosophical works of Plato, where it
But
describes the divine inspiration of Socrates.
But even in this Greek context of demon, right,
Uh,
this is still something that is non quantifiable.
yeah,
Now, when you go look up the Hebrew word for demon, you're going to find something that is quantifiable. You're
yeah,
going to find a hairy goat, right? You're going to find idols, right? The Shadim.
which one you want to go to?
Yeah, go open it up to Shadim.
Right here.
Yeah, that's the Hebrew word, right?
Mhm.
And we could look at both of them and see how the English and the Hebrew is different, right? It says that in Hebrew, shadim, right, singular, shad, are spirits or demons in the Tanakh and Jewish mythology. See that word spirit again. We in Hebrew, spirits are quantifiable. But in non Hebrew, in English, they're non quantifiable. This is the reason why when amongst Jewish minded and Jewish people, when you say spirit, you get a whole nother understanding than you would when you're around Christian people who get spirits. Okay, to hear the word spirit. So
Yeah,
when we talk about these spirits, he's saying that the Shadim are spirits or demons, right?
yeah,
In the Tanakh and Jewish mythology. However, they are not necessarily equivalent. See, he talk about equivalent to the modern connotation of demons as evil entities. Evil spirits were thought as to, thought as the cause of maladies,
yeah,
conceptually differing from the Shadim, who are not demigods, right?
mhm,
But were foreign gods themselves. The
yep,
Shadim are just evil in the sense that they are not God.
yeah.
See right there where it said that they are foreign gods within itself. If you was to go and read other definitions, and probably if you was to read further down in here, we would see that these were gods and that the ancient gods always were depicted by idols. The ancient gods were not something that was not quantifiable. They had a very, very specific idea of what they thought and understood their gods to be. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
They had idols for each and every god that existed. They had idols for them, big idols, big statues. You understand what I'm saying? I
yeah,
mean, that would be made of wood, gold, silver, copper, big, huge figurines, which were quantifiable. And now today, these demons are something that are non quantifiable. And what I'm saying is that in the Hebrew, words like Satan, let's look up Satan to give you another idea. Let's look up Satan in English and in Hebrew. See
All right,
how our idol.
before we look up the before we look up the Satan one, I wanted to explain that this one, right? Um,
Hey, take it back to the beginning real quick so we can see that title. Yeah, go all the way up. How are idols connected to demons? That's important that we talked about that because the demons in today's time are non-quantifiable, but the idols in the ancient biblical times were.
Yeah. Now see what now this now if y'all go look at my presentation I did on demons, right? This is what I was showing. I was showing that demons were actually idols. So we looked at like demons, we looked at devils. Like when we talked about a devil, we were talking about idol worshippers. When we talking about a demon, it was basically idols, right? So what happened is,
But is not an idol quantifiable?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
And
What about
so
these? What about the later demons? Are they the demons that we know of today? Are they quantifiable?
no, not, I mean,
So how? So we're going to have to figure out how they made a connection out of things that don't connect.
yeah. Now see that, yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain. So see what happened is, like I said, the modern day evil was first was ancient times. The modern evil, what they did was they took things like diseases and created a deity with it. Same thing they would did to the sun and the moon. So say his age was out, it would age would be called something, and it'd be a deity behind it, right? So what they did, that's what they did at first. So then it became when we started looking at people that was idol worshiping, the demon word, I don't even know if they really used it, but we just used the word demon. But let's say the
Yeah, they
demon
use
word,
it to shadim in the
yeah,
Hebrew.
yeah. So what it mean as
The
far
God.
as like it was basically they idol worshipers. They worshiping idol. That's why God in the scriptures always said you're worshiping wood and stone. You're worshiping people
Something
the
that is
gods that don't live.
quantifiable.
Yeah. So then what happened is, like I said, during the time the Greeks and it started getting passed down, it started becoming a part of an entity that was outside of the human experience that wasn't human.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? And then we
right.
started taking with that, which was nothing but mythical, right? Because I could show you that the Reaper of Death is a mythical character in Greek. The Nyx is night. It's the representation of night. When you got we got hypnotic. I mean hypnos,
But
hypnos. I
in
mean,
doing that,
uh,
ain't that like stealing your soul from you, man?
yeah,
That's like stealing your soul for you, having you to do away or not even consider the reality and putting that away for the mystical, the mythical, the bullshit, right?
hmm
The stuff that's not real.
yeah,
You're burying the realness of the scriptures and trading it in for European ideologies and understanding.
exactly.
Because this stuff that they're talking about that deals with spirits and stuff like that, the Hebrews understood clearly what that was. Like I said, we could look up Satan in Hebrew and it's going to say an adversary, right?
Yeah,
Any adversary, anybody that is adverse to the children of Israel is a shaitan. If they're
right.
more than one, they are the shaitanim. They're humans, they're people, right?
Uh huh.
There was King Hadad, according to the scripture, was the shaitanim to the children of Israel. He was the shaitan to the Israelites, right?
Hmm.
That was a man. King Hadad was a man,
Yeah,
right? Hadad, that was a man. That
yeah,
wasn't something that was spiritual, non physical. Neither was they referring to the non physical part of that man. That whole man's entire being was adverse to the children of Israel. And this is why we got to understand that because there are some people out here whose whole entire being is adverse to the children of Israel. And the misconception is that you following European ideology, you only think that it is the seat of his character that is wrong.
yeah,
You think it is the non-physical part of him that is wrong. When nothing can be further for the truth from the truth. It is the totality of his physical character that is adverse. This is the reason why you think it's okay for you to hang around adversaries. You understand? If
yeah,
you understood that these adversaries was adversarial in totality to you, then you would not be entertaining them like you doing. But because you think it's a spiritual, individual part, you think that you can save this human being from his spirit.
Yeah.
You think you can save him from from his seat of emotions, from his seat of character, from the non-physical, from the non-quantifiable parts of himself. That's what you believe. When you should be saving him from the quantifiable human self, because his human self is self-destructive, and it's destructive to self, and because it's destructive to self, it'll destroy any and everything around it. I felt the need to talk about this subject because we're following a spirituality that's not real, y'all. Modern day Hebrew Israelites are nothing more than neo Christians,
Yeah.
and they're not Israelite at all
Nope.
because they're following the non quantifiable spook that Europeans has always taught us. There's angels that's been looking out for you. There's messengers of the Lord that has been looking out for you, and you have not seen them. You look over them because you did not see them for who they were. There was demons and devils that you actually have. How many of y'all out there have actually slept with the devil? Have actually married the devil, right? Married someone that, look at the divorce rate. And that'll tell you that there's a whopping people that were sleeping with the devil,
Yeah.
the physical devil. You have people in your family that are adverse to you. You have people next door to you, across the street from you, especially in the heathen society, that are really adverse to you. They don't even have to know you, they don't have to know nothing about you. And by them not knowing nothing about you, they cannot not like your spirit, right? Because they don't know the non physical part of man, right?
Yeah.
They don't know your non physical part. They don't know the seed of your character. What they know is what you present to them as a human being. Let's stop blaming stuff on the devil. The devil made me do it. The devil did not make you do this. Spirits did not make you do this. You did it. And you did it being uneducated. You did it not caring. You did it not knowing. And you did it being very much unlearned. What do you say about that, Ebo? You got something you like to say?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, it's getting to a point where we're getting to a point we actually, like you said, we got to understand what is myth. We got to understand what is the true history. We got to understand, the science is even in the Bible. People don't say it ain't, but it is, right? And what we have a problem is we're taking stuff that's supposed to be myth as all the way 100 literal, and we're taking a lot of the translated terms of things and making it the forefront. Meaning, we're taking angels, and then you have Israel out here that say, "Hey, no, it doesn't matter what the Hebrews say." How I never understood, how could something be written in Hebrew, right? Something written in Hebrew
First,
that's
first,
translated into three, four other languages, right? And
yeah.
the language that you're reading it out of is them is like the fourth language, right? So you're reading this translation that been translated three times and then hundreds of books. And when a person said, "Well, let's go to where the original writing was, where they first, how they, what the language they read it in," and you have a nerve to say, "Oh no, oh no, the Hebrew don't mean nothing just because you can read it in the Hebrew." What do you mean? The Hebrew is the original. That's how you know how something has been tampered with. How can you know that's something temporary if you don't go to the original and see what they did with the translation?
Being that the school of thought that is being practiced amongst modern day Hebrew Israelites is a very modern Anglo-Saxon European Christian dominated interloped school of thought. I need to address my New Testament believers, right? Because most of the problem stems with them.
Hmm.
And in the New Testament say, "Be ye separate and come out from amongst her." And we're talking about the wicked, evil beast, right?
Yeah,
And what you're doing is is putting a veneer that you're separating, but in all actuality, you are including European spirituality, and you're not coming out from among, and you cannot come out from amongst her. You cannot come out from amongst her, adopting and bringing her spirituality with you. This is why the stories, the moral of the story is important. It's not important in 2023 whether Lot lived or not. The importance is in the story that don't look back. When you come out from amongst her, Israel, you are not to look back. Many of you people are looking back and you're trying to carry the paganisms and the heathenisms right along with you out of your captivity. The children of Israel did this with Moses, right? You know, Moses, the Lord brought them out, and they still kept going back to that Egyptian heathenism, that Egyptian paganism. All right, so we got to learn how to separate ourselves spiritually, right? And what I mean by spiritually, I'm talking about the breathing man, right? The man that breathes, the man that can blow, breathe, blow, right? You are the spiritual being. The living being is the spiritual being. And when the spirit is gone, you will be a non living being. When the air, when the wind is gone, you will be an empty corpse. You will be a dead human being. It is the spirit, it is the air, it is the wind, it is the breath of life. That is the spirit. And you can quantify the wind. You can measure the air in your tires, right? Right?
yeah,
They got tire gauges where you can quantify the air. You can measure the wind and the speed in which the wind is coming at you, whether it be from the air or whether it be from a fan, right?
yeah,
The air is quantifiable. What these people is having you to trade in the realness of life, the real quality of life for something that is fake. And many of you will die for this. Many of you will die and put your head on the chopping block for something that is fake and phony. What we have today is fake and phony. And we have to go back to the original Hebrew thought. That is how you become separate and how you come out from amongst them. Israel have to understand that the modern form of Israelite is no different than the modern heathen. He eats the same way. Some of the Israelites today practice our heathen. You got the Caps and their marriage rituals, especially that emanating from the ISUPK and GMS, right? Sex is marriage. Sex ain't no damn marriage.
nah,
Sex is sin. Sex is fornication. And unless you're committed and has a established commitment with this person, you're not married to that person, brother. And she surely cannot be your wife if she's not married to you by the Hebrew law. So basically, they tell you that the ISUPK will tell a young lady that has half children, that has never been married, right? That probably used to sell a booty in the club or the strip or whatever. And they'll trick her and tell her once you come into this movement, if you're up under a certain age, you still an alma, you still a virgin. That is false information. And I'm saying that to say how, in many cases, the Israelite movement and many aspects are more heathen than the heathen. Look at Peter Moses. Peter Moses wanted to kill his people. Whenever the biblical law said a person worthy of death, Peter Moses wanted to take it upon himself and kill them people. Killer, murderer, right? More wicked and more heathen than the heathen. Yes, the Bible may have said that, but this is a complete day and a different day, age, right? And we're not under our paradigm. We're not up under our paradigm. We're not up under our paradigm. And it's as simple as that. And we're not under God's paradigm. We're still up under captivity. As long as you're in the house of your captors, you're still in captivity, brother, sister. We have to be ye separate and come out from amongst her. And before you come out from amongst her, you must separate spiritually. That's how the separation comes. You don't separate physically and then carry the spirituality from that which you separated over into that which you're separating from. Jesus said that you have to become like a child, right? You had to be born again, meaning that all of that foolishness that you thought, you had to be re-educated. That's if and the sad part about it, this is why God said, remember me in the days of thy youth. Because it's very, very, very hard at 30, 40, 50 years old to have to become born again. To throw away all the nonsense that you've learned about
Hello.
spirituality and start over as a child.
Yeah, I'm back. My bad. Smells at the door.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back, boy, because I was about to run out of gas.
Uh, yeah, but
I had to go back to my old Christian days, man. It's turned into the preacher.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, we gotta start getting back and educating, and we gotta stop letting a certain group of people be the face anymore of the Israelite movement. The Israelite movement, they have to sit down and let the real teachers, who's really teaching, like people like Yahshua, they need to let him step up and teach. Because a lot of y'all getting beat down, and I'm gonna say it. A lot of y'all getting beat down, man. It's starting to get old. People starting to question things y'all
Think
can't
about this.
answer.
Hey, think about it before you go forward. Let's talk about the beatdown.
Hmm.
Just whack 100 is tearing their butts up, man.
Yeah,
When have a street Negro? I remember the days when the street Negro was scared to talk to the Israelite. I remember the day when the Christian held his tongue with the Israelite. And today, the Christian, the thug, the gangster, is dominating the Israelite. And I'm going to tell you why that's happening. That's happening because you're following the wrong people. You got guys like Tazariak, right? That'll go on Sarnetta show and challenge me very disrespectfully. Call me white boy, call me white Jew. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But he's protecting a white boy that a black man is calling a white boy, right? He, he Tazariak is humbling himself, right? Pleading to a gangster when he should have been doing that to an elder Israelite like me. I got over 20 years of Israelite experience over Tazariak.
yeah,
He should have been pleading to me, not some gangster and some thug that's selling drugs, making poison music. that is teaching black men to be feminine. Yeah, that man support Takashi 6ix9ine. Got grown men walking around with pink, purple, and shit in their hair. Come on, man.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying because it's getting to a point where y'all, man, y'all listen, y'all camp, man, y'all gotta step down, man. Y'all gotta lay back, man. Let the real Torah teachers, the people of y'all, let them start teaching, man. You know what I'm saying? And defend a lot of stuff y'all can't defend because what happens is y'all are defending a watered down version that y'all don't even understand. Y'all don't even understand the watered down version to defend it. So how you gonna defend the raw 100%? And this is the problem that we having, and y'all not willing to learn. Y'all think and say y'all have the truth, but they say the truth, like my brother used to say, and they say the truth should set you free. Then why we ain't free yet? Okay, because
Oh,
y'all ain't spitting the truth. Y'all spitting. Y'all,
oh.
you know what I'm saying? So is the point that these people, man, you know, like I said, it's time to sit down, like Tupac said. That niggas all old, like Larry Holmes, all flabby and sick. So y'all need you know what I'm saying? Johanna, you did your thing for a while. Y'all need to sit down now, man. Y'all need to get that Christian stuff away because that's all y'all are. Y'all black Christians. I mean,
Either come
y'all
up or
need to
sit
accept
down.
that. Yeah,
Come
y'all
up
need
or
to
sit down.
either y'all
Come up
go back to
spiritually.
Christianity or y'all come under the teachers like Yahshua. Because either one of them y'all should do. And if all y'all had the truth, then y'all should come to Yahshua. Y'all should come and at least have a discussion or debate with them and see if y'all all the leaders say y'all had the truth. Y'all should come battle these elders and show that y'all had the truth. Stop
Hmm.
hiding inside of your camp. Stop hiding inside of in the middle of your followers.
Yeah, you got the ISUPK. They don't want to debate me. They want to debate up on Christians and Muslims. And
Yeah,
Tazariak just said that just the other day. He don't want to debate Chemetics, right?
yeah,
They don't want to debate these people. They want to debate people that they feel are intellectually and spiritually inferior to them. And truthfully, being that Judaism and Christianity came up out, I mean Islam and Christianity came up out of Judaism, it's inferior.
yeah. Cause I laugh, man. I laugh so hard. Like people don't understand. Like y'all should know. People don't understand. I was a fan of the Zaryat. I thought Zaryat was one of the greatest Hebrews ever when I was coming up, man. And when I sat and met him, and really sat down for like I said about an hour and a half, and I was just asking him questions, man. And the shit was just nonsense. He told me the serpent at the tree was the white man. Then he told me Esau was the white man. I'm like, damn, how the white man in both different spots. Then you see what I'm saying? When I seen him on Sarnetta that day, and he was talking to Sarnetta, and Sarnetta asked him about Lucifer, and he told him Lucifer and Isaiah was a fucking angelical being, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking like, what? Like that's this let me know y'all don't really read y'all verses because all you have to do is go down to 16. That's all
Yep.
you have to do, and you would have shut Sarnetta up. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because he
But
tried
they
to
don't
make it
read
seem
their
like it was the
Bible.
devil getting kicked out of heaven or Lucifer getting kicked out of heaven. Well, it wasn't. It's a king that fell from his kingdom. That's all it is. And it was interpreted.
They don't
Lucifer
read
was
their
put
Bible.
in. Lucifer was put in by a saint who was going into a political beef with a man named Saint Lucifer, and he got it interpreted and put it inside of one of the Bible translations and put Lucifer there. That whole Lucifer thing comes from a saint named Saint Lucifer. Look it up, people, or go to my presentation on Eric
You mean
Damascene.
Saint Lucius
Well, they
or
say
Lucian or something like that?
Saint Lucifer. I don't know.
Saint Lucifer.
Yeah, they said Lucifer was like at a certain period was like a popular name. You know, like
Oh,
John's.
okay.
You know, they said at a certain time it was a popular name, but the dude used it through a translation because he was politically beefing with him. So what he tried to do is mine. It's messed with people's mind by putting Lucifer as an evil being, trying to translate into an evil being in the scriptures. And then now, when you look at the word Lucifer, so if you name yourself Lucifer right now, how people gonna look at
All you gotta do is look at little Uzi Vert.
you? Yeah,
Little Uzi Vert. If you say it fast, that's supposed to be little Lucifer.
yeah. But
You
what?
know
But what?
they
But
close
no.
that.
But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about like as a regular name like Terry. Like if your mama named you Lucifer, people would look at you like you're crazy, right? But
Probably or your
but what's
mama.
so bad? But what's so bad being named Lucifer when Lucifer was never a bad thing? Lucifer was created to be bad. And see, that's how I try to tell people. That's how they trick people. That's why they set up a whole
Yeah,
matrix and stuff
like
like they trick
demons
people
what?
like that.
Like
Huh?
demons wasn't all bad. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But the whole thing, by the time it even got to that point, it was already effed up.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? By the time the word demon entered into the paradigm, the whole spirituality had been pretty much messed up.
yeah.
And the only way that you can really go back to it is by deep, diligent study of the Hebrew scriptures.
And y'all can go see that. Y'all can go see the Who is Lucifer, Satan, the Devil. Y'all can go see that on the Lions Den. Me and Yasha and Israel did a collab on that.
And I
So
got one on my page too, y'all can
yeah, he
check
got
out.
one on his page, and I got one on my page. Who is Lucifer, Satan? So you got, I mean, it might be the same one that I got, so it's not mine, but he got one on his page too. So y'all watch them just because we putting out a lot of information, man. We putting out a lot of stuff, and it's gonna go over a lot of people's head at first. But we're establishing it because once it start becoming something of movement, then you're gonna understand that we was the ones that's pushing this movement. You know what I'm saying? He the one that been pushing it. Let me say him. He been pushing it, and then once I listened to the stuff he was doing, I followed it. You know what I'm saying? And I like the way he teaches and break down stuff. Now, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, I've been through and let me tell you a little bit about me, y'all. I've been through a lot of different classes, right? I was a Christian at first. Then I'm probably the next thing I probably was dealing with. I was a street person. I probably, so I probably was like well, I ain't gonna say I was in the weapon, but I was following like Dr. York. Um, then I started dealing with well, no, I'm gonna say Elijah. I'm gonna say Farrakhan first. Because Farrakhan was more. Farrakhan is like the most popular thing in where I'm from, Virginia, right? So Farrakhan. Then I started following Dr. York, right? Then I started following the stuff like Fab Centers. Um, then I went into comedic science. I started following people like SETI, stuff like that. Then I became an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Now I tell him I just take my name. I don't have any name. I come as a researcher just because people have a thing because of the camp Israelites making this nation a religion. People feel like just because a person say they're Israelite, they can't study anything outside the Bible when it never supposed to have been a religious thing. It's not a religious thing. It's a nationality. It's a nationality of people. It's a nation of people. You see what I'm saying? A belief is always in any nation. Most nations, it's only a couple of nations that's supposed to be completely atheist, but most nations, even from ancient time, had a belief system. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They had a belief system. Nobody can deny it. Kemet, all of the people talking about Kemet didn't have a belief system. Man, Kemet was burying people with the books, with the spells, praying the speaking to God and all this stuff. I mean, speaking to their deities, thinking that their deities was gonna be on the afterlife. Okay, so yes, people had beliefs. People always been believed. Don't let these people tell you they don't believe in nothing. Everybody has something that hits them with a belief. The thing is determining when you supposed to believe and when you don't. If something is there and something is evidence and there's proof and facts there, you shouldn't believe in nothing.
Yeah, I don't follow belief. I follow facts.
Yeah, you see what I'm
I
saying?
don't believe in nothing. Do you believe
But
in
but
God?
but
Nope.
but what I'm saying is, and I've heard you say it before, like you might do say like even if you did believe in something, right? You're gonna say I believe that.
Yeah.
So you're gonna let me know, like, look, I'm not saying that I can 100% prove this. I'm not saying.
And
I'm
neither am
just
I
saying that's
telling
something I
you to
believe.
follow this. Neither
Yeah,
am I telling you to follow this. I'm saying when I say I believe this, this is my individuality and this is my take on it.
yeah,
I don't have no proof for this. This is this is just what something that I believe.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, sometimes see, you don't have to prove belief. Sometimes you're not intelligent enough to prove what you believe.
yeah,
You know, sometimes something can be just as real, but you just not articulate or intelligent enough to articulate it.
yeah. And that's why I talk about stuff like the snake, right? I tell people, if you want to come to me and say, yes, I believed a snake talked to Adam and Eve, hey, I'll leave you alone. That's what you want to believe. That's your faith. That's cool with me. But see, once you start getting in these leads and you try to say and try to make that snake a real literal thing that can talk, then it's going to be a problem because first you're going to have to show how I got a voice box. You see what I'm saying? You're going to have to show a lot of stuff. And the only thing you can go back to is belief. You can say, well, God made him speak or something being made him speak. But
Well,
that's still going back into a
it's
belief
not
system.
enough information in the text for you to do all of that, what you're requiring for them to do.
Yeah,
So
I
you
know.
just have to deal with what they got. You know what I'm saying? And what you have, the word nakash don't always mean snake.
Yeah, but
That's
see,
number one.
but that I now see that's what I mean.
It means
But that's what
whispering.
I'm telling. That's
Snakes
what I'm
don't
saying.
whisper.
Yeah,
Humans whisper.
that's what I'm saying
Dogs
when.
don't whisper. Trees don't whisper.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying what I'm saying is people are people. What I'm saying is when I said people are mostly studying from the watered down version. That's
Yeah,
what I mean. So
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. They're arguing over a snake when it never said snake. It said
But
serpent for one thing, or it was Nakash
yeah,
like you said. But
yeah.
what I'm saying is they're making they're making the watered down version literal, and when they do that, it destroys, or not, I ain't gonna say destroys, it covers the Hebrew version.
Yeah, it
So now,
hides.
yeah,
Yeah,
so now when you say, yeah, so now when they know you're Israelite, the first thing they try to come do is come at you and say, well, you believe the snake talked to Adam and Eve, and then you got to tell them no, and then you got to explain to them where in Hebrew it doesn't mean this and this and this and that. And this actually could have been a person or some type of other. You see what I'm saying? Like you got to actually explain it to them because the watered down version doesn't explain that. So what I'm saying is the people who's teaching the watered down version is messing up people who's actually teaching the truth of it, and then the people who's teaching the truth are looking like they are orthodox people. They people think you are an orthodox Israelite when you actually teaching the real Israelite shit, and
right,
that's the crazy thing about it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy thing that's going on. They taking stuff and making it seem like him mighty Hebrew. I mean, I don't want to speak on that, but him, people like mighty Hebrew, some of the stuff he teach, Zion Lex, some of the stuff he teach, but I mean, Yasha probably is more into Hebrew than any, as far as Hebrew teaching than any of them,
Yeah.
So
Lee's Lex.
yeah,
Who else?
but they're like close
Mighty
knit.
Hebrew. I want to say Prospect, but Prospect got a real Christian side to
Yeah,
him.
Crossfest the Christian.
But he has a thorough Hebrew side as well, though.
Yeah, because he told me Jesus was a avatar.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, okay,
I don't know. I don't know if he still believe that now because this, like when you study, you never know where yet. That nigga could be a not whoppy for all I know right there.
That's
But
that to me. That's just like saying Jesus is a rock star. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know, Jesus is a fucking shoveler. He shovel shit. You know what I'm saying? Jesus is a. I mean, when you say stuff like that to me, man, that don't hold much weight.
yeah.
You know, I mean, you can make him an avatar, right?
I
You know,
mean,
you can make an idol, right? You can make a god, right?
yeah.
You know, but is it really?
No, I mean, I think that Jesus is nothing more than the sun god. That's how I feel. I feel like he's the sun god. I feel like he's a representation of a sun god, and other things. I mean, the thing about the New Testament is so twisted with so much different paganism. I can take
Uh,
Jesus and I can correlate him with like five, six different cultures.
the Buddha walked on water before Jesus did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That you have a person with a virgin, you have you have people talking about the bright morning star way before him. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that he's mixed up with. You know, so there's a lot of stuff they twisted and put into this one deity because what they did with the Romans, what the Romans did understood about religion is religion controlled. Don't get me wrong; it was a form of belief before they started this for Christian religion, but it was more on secret societies and like little rituals and stuff they was doing on the low, and everybody wasn't doing it. Right? It wasn't
Yeah.
a thing that a whole nation of people had to do. But once they took that and took the paganism and mixed it all up, they did it so great, right? It controlled. They understand it controlled the whole nation of people because it fits everybody. You
Yeah.
got people who believe in different gods, so now you got the Trinity. You got people who believe in the one God, so now they got the Old Testament. So you see what I'm saying? So and that's what they did. They mixed all that stuff up so people can have that one thing can be multiple things and how people see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
the Bible, when you look at the Old Testament, especially, it is a very down to earth, mundane story, especially if you could read it in the Hebrew. It's not a story that's riddled with a bunch of the mythologies of the old world. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. I mean that's true because I mean people and this and you read something too, right? And I meant to speak on it. You was talking about how they was how who was it? It was somebody in the beginning who was worshiping gods that was foreign. Who was we speaking about?
You talk about tonight?
Yeah.
They talk about the Shadim.
Okay, yeah, the Shadim, right? And
Yeah.
that's why I was that's what when I did the myth thing, that's why I was trying to explain to people, and this is what people got to understand. When cultures invade cultures, when cultures get invaded, and when cultures trade with each other, right? They become influenced by each other. Um, they started worshiping each other deities. That's why when I showed Kemet in Egypt, right? Kemet in Egypt, Canaan actually had a part of Egypt for a second, right? And then Egypt had Canaan for a while. And what happened is they found there are different gods in them lands that both from land and they was influencing each other. First you conquer each other, right? You was enemies at first. Then once you live it amongst each other, you become civilized people together. Same as we did here. We was most people. Some people took off the boat. What brung here? Some people was in prisoners of war here. But what happened? Eventually, we are American. We are
But
Americanized. We
but you
go
gotta
eat and do the same things everybody else do.
we gotta understand that even in trade, right, and stuff like that, you know, the more dominant society has the more dominant God. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and even like in war, if I overthrew your country, then my God overthrew your God.
yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? And even like now, you can have me. Let's say if I was to meet a girl from somewhere, and she knows I'm from America, right?
yeah,
When she comes here, the way of life is going to be so superior to the way of life that she was used to. She's going to operate in the power of our God, whether she like it or not. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Hold on real quick.
Yeah, and I say that because let's say, for instance, I say that I'm keeping the show rolling. I say that in instance for like let's say for instance I marry a chick from Thailand, right?
Yeah,
Or a chick from somewhere where Christianity is not dominant, right? You know, and when she don't never have to confess Jesus, right? You know, but let's say and she might like to drink, right? But on Christmas, she can't buy liquor because it's against the law, right?
Yeah,
Because Jesus was born this day, right? Somehow you are forced by the law of the society to, at some point or another, to bow down to the deities of that society, even because all of the holidays in those societies are marked around the deities. You see,
yeah,
when my family have Fourth of July dinners and Christmas and Thanksgiving dinners, she's going to come to it, right?
yeah,
So that's how loan words, uh, pagan pagan ideologies, and stuff like that get adopted and mixed into other societies and cultures through the mixing. You know what I'm saying? The
yeah,
commerce. You know, yeah. You still there, Doc?
yeah. I'm ready. Yeah, I was letting you finish. Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, we're not talking about the influence, just like Canaan and Israel, right? Then you got Samaria, right? Now, like when we go to Samaria, the first Sumerian people wasn't Semitic, right? They were a different type of people. The Semitic people came in later once um the original people started moving more deeper into Mesopotamia, right? So they took over. So then the Semitic people moved in. So the Semitic people actually upgraded the Sumerian dynasty to what people know now. And then the Akkadian language, if I ain't mistaken, um, is Semitic, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
So
Yeah,
so summer is actually uh from what I read and what I studied, summer is actually a Semitic language because the Akkad people who spoke Akkadian, who's the Semitic people, they the ones that named summer.
yeah. Akkadian is very much like Arabic today, so
Yeah.
it's a Semitic language.
Yeah, so summer is actually Semitic,
I like to
right?
call it Afro-Asiatic because because it was Semitic people wasn't dominant in Acadia. It was
Yeah.
Hamite people that was dominant in Acadia.
Well, they was that what I'm saying. I don't know if they were Semitic people or Semitic people speaking people because
No,
most
they
of,
were
cause most of
Hamite. They
Hamites because
were
most
Hamite.
Hamites spoke Semitic,
Yeah, they were Cushite people.
so they spoke Semitic too.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the word Semitic, that word they didn't call that language that long. That language family, that's a new name
Yeah,
that was added to that. You know what I'm saying? By
yeah,
Europeans, they didn't call those languages Semitic languages. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because all of the people in the lands, whether they were Hamitic or Semitic, spoke these languages.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Semitic stuff, that stuff came about way later in the Enlightenment age, Enlightenment period. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you believe because like I said the national like we looked at National British Museum put them under Asiatic. So you said you believe it was Afro Asiatic.
Yeah, Afro-Asiatics.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with
and
that.
that would be a better term. Because like say for instance, the Canaanite language, right, is considered a Semitic language, but they are Hamite people, man,
Yeah,
and they language predates most Semitic languages, right? So you can't really even say that they are Semitic language. You have to say that they are Afro-Asiatics. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because the people who lived throughout the areas of Africa and Asia spoke these languages.
Okay, okay. I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that. But yeah, bro, when I was showing on the influence part is like I said, it's people that can move. It's people that can move in, not be the original people, and then they can be the people that people talk about in history and thinking they're the original people. There's a lot of stuff that goes on when you do, like, I ain't talking to you, Ted, but I'm talking to the people that's listening. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with a person research. When you research, you got to go through all that. You got to really look at history as if it's in real time. I forgot who said it one day. He was like, man, when you go through history, you can't just pile it all together. You gotta expand it. You gotta understand. Like when we talk about American history, it ain't just the European came over
Yeah,
here,
you gotta have
took over the
context.
land and enslaved people. There's a lot of stuff that happened between that. There's a lot of they came to Virginia and then they
Yeah,
did a lot of stuff. And
that's
then they
called
traded with these people. Then they had to go to war with these people. Then they did this. There's a lot of stuff that
yeah, that's called
happened.
context. You gotta
Yeah,
look at the context.
yeah,
You know, the time, the conditionings. You know what was going on. You know, that's context. What you talking about?
yeah. And
You
that's
know,
why I try to
people
get
do.
better. I try to get better at the context. I try to get better at studying similarities. I try to get better at criticism. Like so, meaning like if I study something that say let's just say some. I mean, I'm just gonna say something simple like the sky blue, right? And
Yeah,
then it's just people over here say no, the sky red. So what I do is I put both up together and I put both and compare both and see why this person's saying this and why this person's saying this. Now we know from the vision that it's blue, but I've heard before that just because it's because of the light that our eyes makes the sky look blue, that it actually is a different color. You
I
know what I
want to
mean?
show you how you could recognize a logical fallacy. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? A logical fallacy, especially an informal one, right? A formal logical fallacy is just all wrong. You know what I mean? You'll recognize that just right off the bat. You know,
yeah,
but an informal logical fallacy can slide and pass as the truth if you don't understand logic, right?
yeah, yeah,
There's three things in an informal logical fallacy that you need to look for is the context.
yeah,
If a person's argument is out of context and lack cultural relativity, which is what we were talking about earlier, it's fallacious off the rip. If his content is wrong, like saying, uh, just saying something like, uh, saying something like, Christopher Columbus discovered China. The content is wrong, right?
yeah,
And then you got to look at the form. You know, the form, how they form the argument. If the argument is formed and it sound weird, it's a great chance that it's fallacious.
yeah,
A fallacy is a unsound argument, right? That has an error in its form, its content, and or its context. Those are three things that you look for: the content in which the actual content in which they're talking about. Is it true? Is it not?
yeah,
The context, is he looking at something in ancient history through the lens of 2023 person? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know, that's wrong. You don't do that, right? You don't say that the ancient Canaanites were immoral because they sacrificed their firstborn to Molech, right?
yeah,
Because if that was the norm of the day, then that was the norm of the day, right?
yeah,
It's only moral today after people learn better. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know, you can't say, you know, something is immoral when it was just the typical way of life. You know, you can't say that oh, if a man found if a woman got caught cheating, you know, they immoral if they kill her. Well, they may be immoral today, right?
yeah,
But that was the law. That was the Constitution. That was the seat of morality back then.
yeah,
So you got when you got to look at the context. Always look at the context and the content. You know what I'm saying? Those are the two big ways you can tell a fallacy in somebody's argument.
All right, so we gonna play this
Or,
game like we
or
did,
explanation.
huh?
Or explanation. It don't
Yeah,
have to be an argument. It could be an explanation. It could be a lecture, right? It could
yeah.
be a statement. It could be a fallacious statement.
We got some quick questions I want to ask. I want to ask. You know, I asked this already before, but I haven't asked online. Number one top debater you like listening to?
You say, what's the number one topic I like listening to?
Top debater.
Probably Black Jesus.
Okay. Who is the worst scholar to you
Who is the what?
in the black community? Worst scholar?
Oh, probably Chris Harris.
Chris Harris.
Yeah.
I mean, so you really think he the worstest?
Yeah, I think in the community,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he stuck. I think he got it all the way.
Who is the greatest black leader? If you believe that it ever was one.
Probably Ben Ami.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Probably Ben Ami Ben Israel.
Okay. I agree. I agree.
Maybe, maybe, yeah, Ben Ami, but Marcus Garvey, right? One of those guys. It would
Yeah.
have to be between one of them.
Yeah. I mean, Marcus. I mean, yeah, Marcus was a different. That was man. That was a whole different breed, though. But that was like, I don't know. There's a lot of questions with that, so I don't know.
I
But
mean, it's questions with Ben Ami, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's
yeah,
questions with all of them, but they were leaders and they
yeah.
led black people.
That was it. I mean, Marcus had like, I think he had 2 million people. Well, you know what? I can't say he was because the FBI came and got him, so we know he was.
Yeah, I mean, it was just,
Yeah, the
yeah,
feds.
you know.
Only thing I didn't like is him being having a connection with the Catholic Church, but you know, other than that,
I mean, but he didn't have access to the information. The men didn't know what we know about the Bible and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That's
You know,
true.
you got to think about it. Your mother, just the generation over us, don't know what we know.
Yeah, true that. True that. Yeah,
So you talk
and
about
he was
over
doing the
100 years
19. Yeah,
ago,
he was doing this in the 1920s.
a hundred
That's
years
like
ago.
yeah, that's only like 45, 50 years after slavery.
Yeah,
Yeah, true
meaning
that.
that he
True
was
that.
probably born in slavery or just after.
Hey, probably his mama. Yeah, because I think he died. I think he died young. I
Yeah.
think he, yeah, because he was. I think he was in his 20s or 30s, or something in the 20s. So yeah, he was. He wasn't that old when he died.
Mm.
I don't think so. I can't remember. But yeah,
I
again,
know. I know this.
y'all can watch FBI black agents take down Marcus Garvey on my YouTube. Eric the Mad Scientist. I got a joint with the fit with the black FBI took down Marcus Garvey.
I got a picture with Marcus Garvey's son. That remember I was telling you about a lot of that stuff that got away from me. And my one of my Hebrew brothers, I'm trying to get him on the show.
Yeah,
He got some pictures. He got some pictures and some videos. I wasn't in them, but he had videos with him and Marcus Garvey's son. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Which is still imminent of that time because that was around the time I met Marcus Garvey's son, and he met him. You know, remember I was telling you that Malik Shabazz, my people used to run with him. You know, and they was being bodyguards for a lot of these people, man. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And before they took on any assignment, I was the guy that they called. You know, should we do it? Should we not? You know, that Khalid Mohammed thing, I had to really, really think about that because he was beefing at war with the Nation of Islam and they imminent.
Is my jump still sharing?
Yeah, it's up there. I see it.
I ain't gonna do no whole presentation, but I'm just gonna show you the Fed. I want to show the Feds part. I want people to remember now. Marcus Garvey is the first person that we know that's record until they find somebody else that they use black agents to take down him. Right? All right.
Well, he was the first one.
Yeah. Look at this. First black agent. James Wormley Jones was an African American policeman and World War One veteran and is best known for having been the first African American FBI special agent. Jones served for many years in D.C. police officer prior to the joining the African American Army Regiment known as the Buffalo Soldiers. Did y'all hear this?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the Buffalo Soldiers and all this stuff so much. This man's a Buffalo Soldier and became a FBI agent. Okay,
Yeah, pretty
um,
much like how my man did in the Black Panthers. What's
who?
that guy name? And now he's a
Bobby,
congressman, and he be
Bobby Seale.
yeah, Bobby Seale.
Yeah,
He passing all kind of foul laws and shit against
yeah.
black people.
And while stationed in Europe following the war, he was a senior instructor of his division of school as specialist, teaching soldiers how to handle high-powered explosives and the mechanics of bombs and grenades. Right. All right. Hold on. Let
Yeah.
me go to. Now these are the people that helped take Garvey down. His name was James E. Amos, and he served in the Bureau of Special Agent. He served the Bureau as a special agent for 32 years over some of the most turbulent history in the United States. The Louis Lepke Buckhalter Gang, a notorious band of professional hitmen known as Murder Inc. Um, the Quincy Nazi spy ring, because of his known of the New York almost, was asked to shadow the Quincy and locate his home at the trial. Amos refuted the spy claim. Hold on. Amos refuted the spy's claim of being a close friend of the late President Roosevelt. Marcus Garvey and his Black Star steamship company, which defrauded African Americans by falsely promising paid passengers to Africa. The notorious tri-state gang, which brutally murdered a postal truck driver, a police officer, and others. Now, what y'all got to remember is Marcus Garvey got set up. He was trying to get boats, right, to send people to South America, Africa, and I think Europe, if I ain't mistaken, to meet all the people that was spread around and all the people that they call Africans. He was making a name under Pan African for everybody to unite under with a flag, right? So what happened is when he bought these boats, these federal people set him up, had holes in the boat, and they hit him with tax. I think they hit him with like fraud or defraud or tax. It was something like that. They hit him with the same thing that they did to him. So they set him up and then charged him with the shit they set him up for.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let's go to the next one. Earl E. Titus, after working as an Indianapolis police officer, joined the
He look
Bureau
like a turncoat.
in January 1922. So this is back in 1922.
Hey,
His
he look like a
assignment,
turncoat, don't he?
yep, his assignments included undercover work and investigation of Marcus Garvey, a black nationalist who was convicted of mail fraud in 1923. Titus retired in June 1924. Now look, these niggas retiring like a year after they catch Marcus Garvey at the age of 56. Arthur Llewell Brent became a special agent on August 1st, 1923, after serving 2 years as a special employee, sort of assistant investigator in the Department of Justice. Brent was assigned to the Washington field office where he worked on Garvey case and other investigations. He left the bureau in 1924. So these niggas retired and came in for this nigga came in for 1 year just to take Garvey down.
Mm-mm-mm.
Was one of them. Emmett J. Scott was one of them, an agent at the Bureau. Scott posed as a reporter who attended Garvey's UNIA meetings and conventions, who interviewed Garvey. A native of Houston, Texas, Emmett J. Scott garnered a reputation of Booker T. Washington's chief aide. He was also the highest ranking African American in Woodrow Wilson's administration.
Mm.
Is y'all hearing this?
Mm-mm-mm.
He posed as a reporter and was interviewing Marcus Garvey.
Mm.
He was a high-ranking African American in the Will Ridgels administration. He was Emmett J. Scott garnered a reputation as Booker T. Washington chief aide, a FBI agent. An FBI agent.
Yeah.
Look, look at this. We even had our own. But in 1920, Philip Randolph and other black leaders, some of who had supported Garvey after his arrival in the United States, came to believe that Garvey's program for black advancement was unsound and that Garvey himself was a charlatan. Black opposition to Garvey coalesced. I don't even know what that word is. Coalesced into what came to be known as the Garvey Must Go campaign. Supporters of the campaign, known as collectively as Friends of Negro Freedom, intended to unmask Garvey as a fraud, but for his black supporters, they also appealed to the federal government to set up investigations of irregularities in the Black Star Line and to look into alleged acts of violence on the part of Garvey's inner circle. So even the black leaders with the black agents was all attacking Garvey.
Yep.
They been doing this to us.
W.E.B. Du Bois was his biggest nemesis.
Yep. Let me see if I got WE on here. Yep. Look, right there. He said it came up. Although Garvey and Du Bois was both Pan Africanists, there was a little love lost between them. Their difference was mainly ideological. Garvey concentrated on the needs of everyday black person, where Du Bois dwelled and worked in the more elite circles. But their mutual disparagement was also tainted by colorism. The boys was described Garvey as a little fat black man, ugly but with intelligent eyes and a big head. Garvey dismissed the boys as a little Dutch, a little French, a little Negro, a mulatto, and a
Monstrosity.
monstrosity.
The boys was beefing, huh?
So everything that's been going on in the '60s with Dr. York and Ben and all this other stuff, and they come up to the '90s when you got man, all that stuff been going on.
Man, history repeats itself.
History been repeating itself. There's nothing new under the sun, and they
Yeah.
know this, and that's why they can control everything.
And
They
that's how they
know,
manipulate stuff.
yeah,
You know
they
what I'm
manipulate.
saying?
Yeah, that's how they do it. I don't want to put everything on here, but just
Oh, get ready to make it short. Cut it on the end. We don't want to make it too long.
yeah, yeah. I would say this presentation is um on Lions Den. So y'all go check this out. Mark the FBI gets Marcus Garvey on the Lions Den. I did the whole presentation. That's why I ain't doing all of
Yeah, I
it.
like how you throwing them slides up because a
See,
person could just easily.
I'm showing the feds that jumped into the Black Panthers.
Yeah, just let it sit on there for a
Yeah,
while so people can have enough chance. What if they want to push the pause button to
yeah,
read the information? It won't be going. They won't have a hard time. Yeah,
yeah. I was
yeah.
just trying to. I was gonna get. I was just trying to find. All right. I just want to show this last thing. Look, 1935, Garvey returned to London, where he lived and worked until his death at 52. Garvey died on June 10th, 1940, from complications brought to by two strokes due to World War II travel restrictions. He was originally buried in St. Mary's Roman Catholic Cemetery in Kensale Green, London. But on November 13, 1964, his body was exhumed and buried beneath the Marcus Garvey Memorial in National Heroes Park in Kingston, Jamaica.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he
Marcus.
died at 52. He wasn't even old, man.
Yeah, to Marcus to me was amongst the elite leaders of our paradigm, man, of our experience. You
Yeah,
know, way up there. Way up there. Him. There's a couple of them. Him, Ben Ami. I liked Elijah Muhammad.
yeah,
Elijah Muhammad had a pretty good thing going. Those would be my top three.
yeah. I'm gonna say I don't know, man. I like New York, man. I mean, I like the York. I like the Elijah and Garvey, and I like the shit Farrakhan do. I mean, at that time, I mean, like I said, Virginia from the '90s and up, Farrakhan was the man.
Yeah,
Like my mama and them used to watch the shit. They were Christian, like straight up the old school Christians. They used to sit and watch Farrakhan when he used to come on TV.
yeah,
So yeah, he was the like I said, Virginia was either a Muslim or a Christian. So
yeah. Well, I'm about end this.
yeah,
We didn't got two good subjects out. I don't want to,
yeah, we got
exhaust it out.
yeah,
You know, one thing I hate, man. I'm sorry. And I think I've complained to you over and over again about these YouTubers. With these 5, 4, 3, 6, 7 hour videos, brother. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah,
We're just under an hour and a half, and we done covered two, maybe three subjects.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
I
you
mean,
just don't
because
need
most people want to argue. When you building is different. When you
yeah,
building, you can get stuff done.
yeah.
Like when you trying to make a house, you don't take a hammer and just knock shit down and think you're gonna build. You can't keep like if I build something, I build a wall, you knock my wall down, and then I build some steps, you knock the steps down. How am I gonna ever build the house?
Yeah,
See, I got to build one wall, you build the other wall. I build the other, I build the steps, you build the you build the floor that connect to the top stairs. You see what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
how we supposed to do.
yeah. Well, that being that, this is Yasha Business Real, and I am signing out for tonight. I enjoyed the show. Uh, Mounds of information that was poured out tonight between myself and the brethren. I'm fond of Eric. You know what I'm saying? I really, really look up to him in his scholarship. He's one of my go tos, and I'm proud of him. He's kind of like a student to me, but at the same time, he's become like a counselor. He's elevated that high, in my mind. You know what I'm saying? I call him my little malak, my little angel. You know what I'm saying? My little messenger. But yeah, hey man, glad to have known you, glad to have met you. And I'm looking forward to much more unraveling, of this hidden truth, this suppressed truth. I got my shovel, and I'm ready to dig it up, man. They covered it up, and I'm ready to dig it up.
Yep. Yeah, hope y'all enjoyed, man. We got some more fire coming. We gonna keep coming, man. And we coming for everybody. It's either lay down. I mean, it's either get down or lay down. You know what I mean?
Get down and lay
It's either
down.
get down or lay down. We come with our research team. We gonna really be putting this information out. We gonna show y'all what real research is out, what real Israelites look like. All right, peace out.
Peace.
Hey, last talking choke.